happening, guys? Martin is back again. You know what we are, so let's get into it. So guys, I'm touching base with you in respect to this particular fragrance. I know it's been a few days, but hey, as I say, life happens, things happen. However, this is one of those fragrances, guys, that I have to say, you know, I thought I'd put in a little bit more of a slightly more formal sort of note for you for this particular fragrance. And this ultimately, guys, as I say, is here. So this is the box, guys. Hopefully you can see, hopefully that zooms in. Angel Share by Killian. Now this actually cost me from Selfridges, I believe it's £160, £165 or so. Ultimately, guys, this isn't cheap. This isn't cheap stuff. The box obviously is just a box, but ultimately, guys, this is quality. That's all I can say. Now ultimately, again, just so you can see the presentation, all the perfume concentration, 50 ml on there, and this is the actual boxes come in. There we go, guys, we have it there with the juice, you can see. Now the issue for me, guys, again, this is only a 50 ml bottle. Now be careful when you're taking out of the actual box itself, because the top here is plastic, but the actual obviously the base is like a whiskey sort of cognac sort of glass, and ultimately, guys, I mean, hey, this is it's a solid heavy sort of bottle. It's not enough, as I wouldn't say it's as heavy as probably Perfumes de Mali or anything else like that, but ultimately, guys, this is a very good bottle, extremely good in respect of the way it looks. As you can see, it does measure up, and the way it's been marketed as well, from what I can see, and they've tried to sort of play on the fact of maybe potentially it's like a drink or a cocktail, maybe having a bit of fun at a party. Now ultimately, guys, for me, I say just be careful when you take it off the cap, because the cap is plastic. Lets it down a little bit. I think they could have, the only thing I'd say is that it could have gone heavier on the cap, but it is what it is, guys. Now I don't really want to waste sprays on this one. I've sprayed it, I've smelt it, I enjoy this. I think the last time I even sprayed it, guys, was probably actually when I purchased it. It is a fantastic fragrance, guys. I mean, you can see my hands even probably shaking. That's how good it is, and that's how precious it is, guys. This is a fantastic fragrance. I mean, for the cost and the price point, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap. But for winter, for nighttime, for evening, as I say, as you see in the title, guys, Agnieszka, who is one of my housemates, she's had a smell of this one, guys, and she ultimately said, you know, this smells like sex. And that's what it smells like, guys, honest to God. Like, from a manly perspective, now don't get me wrong, this is a unisex fragrance, ladies can wear this as well, and I have seen some ladies do some fragrance reviews of it as well. However, for me, guys, this is one of those fantastic fragrances. I'm gonna spray it, actually, I will spray it so you can see. Nice distribution, fantastic fragrance, guys. You get this warm, boozy cognac vibe, spicy, cinnamon, tonka bean, vanilla. If you were to imagine types slightly more along the lines of I was gonna say Pure Havane, you could get a touch of Pure Havane from Terry Mugler, and also I would say Pure Malt as well. They smell similar. You could even say along the lines of Parfums de Mali Herod as well. They smell similar, but they're not the same, guys. This, for me, in my opinion, guys, it opens with this boozy cognac sweet note. It's very sweet as a fragrance. If you really like sweet fragrances, this may not be for you. But if you do like your boozy fragrances, not too borderline alcoholic boozy, more so like a playful, enjoyable, and even borderline, you know, gourmand. If this was a smell of, I don't know, JD and Coke or something like that, if you imagine that the sweetness you get from a bourbon as well, maybe from Jack Daniels, something like that, you can just smell the sweetness coming off it, mixed with the JD and Coke. That's what it smells like to me. This is a fantastic fragrance, guys. The only thing that lets it down, in my opinion, is just the price point for the amount you get. It's a shame that you're gonna spend £160 for a 50 ml bottle, but it's one of those fragrances, guys, that I personally would recommend. I think fireworks have started. I personally would recommend it, and definitely I would recommend that you get this for winter. Fantastic fragrance, guys. Spicy nuances of, as I say, even I want to say like tonka bean or oak or something in the base, maybe some cedar or something like along those lines. It is a great fragrance. Now, longevity, this has lasted me for about a good 8 hours. Spray it on clothes, you can smell it the next day, to the point that you could, how could I say, you don't necessarily need to reapply it, but don't expect the opening to be what you get in the dry down. The opening, as I say, is a bit more of a burst of this cognac sweetness, vanilla. Even if it's like a honey note in there, I would say it's like a, if you imagine like a Tennessee honey from Jack Daniels, that's what I'm imagining in a fragrance. That's what it smells like to me. However, the dry down keeps it slightly more, as I say, of this woodsy, sweet cognac vibe, vanilla and tonka bean. but I wouldn't necessarily say that bright opening is still there in the base. Now, what I like about this fragrance, guys, and one thing I'm going to say about it is that it's one of those fragrances that you could wear and it just starts pumping off skin. It just starts pumping off skin after a period of time. You know, it's one of those fragrances that you'll get wafts of it as it goes. 2 to 3 hours, I think I've noticed a projection probably around about arm's length, and then after that it starts to slightly come in a little bit more, but you'll still get these wafts. And again, I've been wearing this, guys, I'm thinking to myself, even the next day I can still smell it on my clothes. I'm like, wow, this is some good stuff. I think in my opinion, guys, for these type of boozy fragrances, in all honesty, in my opinion, is probably one of the more approachable ones. If you do like sweet fragrances, if you don't like sweet fragrances, this may be a little bit of a maybe too much for you. But at the same time, from what I'm noticing, the sweetness does dry down. I just enjoy this fragrance, guys. It is so gourmandish, it's so well balanced, it's so so smooth as a fragrance. Again, it's one of those fragrances that you can't really waste this one. It's not a fragrance I would really wear casually. It's a fragrance I'm going to wear on special occasions. Fragrance I'm going to wear when I'm maybe, I don't know, dressing up and going to some sort of event. How that's going to be going on now, obviously I don't know. But it's one of those fragrances, no difference from someone, no difference from Herod or maybe Leighton, you know, Pegasus. You just got to decide, guys. You've got to decide. But for £106 for 50 mils of juice, definitely this is one to be used sparingly. It's not one I would really say you got your way in the spray just on a sort of casual sort of note. But ultimately, guys, all in all, what I would say for this fragrance, in my opinion, is one of the essentials for 2020. It's one of those ones to say already, you know, I'm not saying compliments as such, but already those comments have been made about this one. This is one of those fragrances, guys, that will get the job done. It smells good, guys. It does smells good. It's fantastic. It's gourmandish, it's fresh, and it is a good release. Now, I personally don't actually own any other Killian fragrances, and this is the first one of in my collection being introduced into the house. It's a shame, obviously, that something like this is not, how could I say, is not a little bit more open on a price point perspective. But at the end of the day, guys, sometimes you've got to sort of take the plunge. I wouldn't blind buy this one. I would check it out first. If you're expecting beast mode performance, this may not quite be for you, but at the same time, this still does last with you. It just may not project as much for maybe 5-6 hours like some other fragrances do. But it's a fantastic fragrance, guys. I want you to go and check this one out and let me know down below. Leave your comments down below. Do you like this fragrance? Have you checked it out? Is it worth the money, or is it something that you're just going to leave for the time being? I do obviously know what's going on out there. It's not an easy time if you're going to be purchasing these things, but it's definitely one of those, guys, that I would recommend that you get your thoughts on, get your hand on this one. Hand on it, it makes no sense. It's out there in the stores. Go and check it out. Let me know, guys, and see you in the next video. Ciao.